Dave's like, oh,
I forget. Every captain, I think you
The
refresh.
one, the one. When I hear the one, I'm always like, oh yeah, that's me. Hey guys, welcome to Stealthy Elf Productions. We are being productive. We are going to be playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you today. This is session 41 of Unearthed Inheritance. This is one of our Heroes of Histaeria campaigns. Yeah, there you go. I'm surprised that was the one you went with.
I did like it is. I was like,
The Claw. Guys, before we jump into our session, any announcements, anything you'd like folks to check out, anything you want us to mention?
Pirates of No Realms Telesh, check it out.
That is 2 campaigns rolled into one.
The known
Pirates
dual
of the
seas Pirates of Tolesh.
They're not of Tolesh. They're of Jazier too. They're of the Dual Seas. They're of the Milris and the Delaspar. It's not true. Catch Pirates of the Dual Seas on Thursdays and Known Realms Tolesh on Sundays, both on Tales Archived. It's not my channel.
God. We got to be real thankful for Button. A lot of times when we're doing fancy and I try to say like, oh, check out Tales Archive stuff, I always kind of think, what would Button say?
Aww.
I think about that. I think that's my guiding light in life. What would Button do?
WWBS.
Yeah. Okay, but we are going to play some Pathfinder tonight. We are doing our 3rd session in our Downtime series of adventures. Friends, given the way things left off last time, I think we're just going to kind of jump into this Downtime story today.
Okay.
So, we are going to be returning to Damaril, the small, now reclaimed and in the process of being rebuilt town just on the northwestern corner of the continent of Histaeria, or what was the continent of Histaeria. Really, things are in flux. The streets now are very different than when you all first arrived. Now, the streets are mostly cleared. Before there was debris, broken boards, broken stone, littering everything, and passage through what remained of the walkways was treacherous at best. But now, through the efforts of those who you have rescued and those who you have rehabilitated, things are starting to look quite a lot better. Carts now take the place of piles of trash, and rather than sort of the empty, hollowed sounds of wind whistling through broken buildings, now you can hear hammers ringing out. You can hear the calls as labor moves and erects boards, builds foundations, right? And there's industry in the town again. One sound that is very unique to Damaril now that you would not have heard when you first arrived is that of music and joy. And that is the sound that is spilling out of Bistro Daddy's Tavern on the bluff overlooking the town proper. You guys, as our camera kind of moves through a window, you guys are met with the scene of a party in full swing. There's good cause to celebrate, but right now there is a rather joyous jig being led by none other than Pink Whiskey, the catfolk, who is just sawing away on a violin while a couple of fish folk, kind of keep tempo with a few different drums. And Bistro Daddy is very much in an element that seems natural to him as he kind of slides in and out between tables. For a man of his size, he is rather adept at navigating a crowd. As he spins and glides a tray past folks, he stops by your table to check on you, the two of you, and see if there's anything you'd like. But as that question is being posed, I should just let you know the reason for the celebration tonight is a bit of a milestone in the project of clearing out the Chul Caverns. And that is thanks to our friendly neighborhood frog folk, TikTok. A path has been discovered. It's from the ruins of Black Reef to the town. So now there is a navigable way. Before they were kind of just exploring and trying to find something, but now there's like a set road that they can kind of follow. And Magnus is, working with Shavash, the Strix, on a plan to, follow that path and essentially connect. So, Daddy swings by and he says, quite a night, my friends. Tell me, can I get you anything? Mind you, our selection is modest at the moment, but growing.
I hope to make it grow even more.
It's no small part thanks to your efforts that it is where it's at now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bistro Daddy, what's your favorite?
You know, I've got a bottle of something special hidden just beneath the counter, but don't tell Magnus.
Mom's the word.
I'll pour you a glass. Is that suitable? And looks to the two of you.
Finn nods, curious, kind of shoots a very fiendish grin at Crest. Just keep secrets from Captain Magnus. I like that.
But this secret, Mr. Reese, and he kind of like now leans down in front of you, Finn. He kind of pulls a stool up and plops down and leans on an elbow as he gets close to you conspiratorially. He says, "For you, my friend, this comes with a price."
I
You
think I
see.
might have an inkling of what the price might be.
He smiles. Ah, yes, a good choice of words. It does involve ink.
That's what I thought. Well,
Little John has been quite a buzz in town of your skills.
well, how about this? I will tattoo you on the morrow.
On the morrow. Very well, I think something can be arranged, but I would love to hear your designs. I might have some recommendations.
If you've got ideas, I'd love to hear them. It's going to be on you forever. I can design whatever I want, but it should mean something to you.
Fine sentiment indeed. Spoken like a true artist. And claps you on the shoulder, and he says, "I'll be back with those drinks," and gets up and makes his way back towards the bar. The scene around the two of you is boisterous. TikTok is a rather small individual, and I mean small not just in terms of stature, but also mechanically. And TikTok is kind of being passed around, right? A little out of their element, but recognizing the importance of the occasion, is receptive to the celebration.
When TikTok is passed to us, Cress will just tap this little frog folk with a guidance for whatever drink is next shoved into their hands so that they might weather it better.
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. It was quite a mission.
I believe in you. You done good work, TikTok.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to the next stage. I hear you will be assisting in securing the passages.
That's right, and I would love to talk with you about certain designs, the entire town. Chris's stone shape ability, if you don't mind, David, I like the idea of, given the fact that it can be shaped into like pillars and like complex pieces, I like the idea of creating sculptures along this path as well. And with that in mind, collecting an understanding of the guardians. Obviously, like we know Magnus is God, and we know our thief of ships, but like other figures and entities that the town wants represented, be they actual people or not that gods aren't actual people in fantasy settings. Whatever entities they're interested in depicting.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, just kind of looking at the stone-shaped spell, we can certainly do that. I'll say it's going to take
It'll take time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to take. Yeah, but Chris is fine taking that time if it means making this personal, especially seeing so many ruins juxtaposed against the citadel. I think Chris is really bearing in mind the specificity of the communities with which they're touching. They want to leave that mark not just as something that is functional, but something that is meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, so we'll get, we'll start doing a little bit of that as the path kind of begins to expand. Yeah. TikTok accepts the guidance and is now kind of thrust onto Finn's lap and kind of awkwardly like, "Oh, hello, Finn."
Hello there. Just a big old pat on the head. God, do I have anything I can cast on you, little guy? Little buddy?
A little buddy, a little friend.
Little buddy?
Answer
Nope.
quickly, because soon Ramir is about to just scoop TikTok back up in just one fell swoop. Not a fell
Yeah,
swoop.
no, I got
There's nothing
nothing. I'm
fell
just
about
gonna
this particular swoop.
let's sort of like prop him up, fix up the clothes, and just kind of tidy him up.
Yeah.
Best
Yeah,
of
he's
luck
got a
out
few
there.
different like spears and whatnot. And TikTok said, "Oh, it was quite a journey. A few passages that I don't think you would have managed to make through, but it sounds like with a little bit of work, soon everybody will be able to walk that path."
Yes, it would have been quite the squeeze.
Well, couldn't have done it without all of you heading in there in the first place. I followed a bit of your own pathway down into the caverns.
I hope it was less treacherous than it was when we went down there.
I've heard stories significantly less treacherous. Thank you.
Good, good.
TikTok's apparently very well spoken.
I love
But- Yeah, and then TikTok says, "Oh, well, I suppose there's a." Ramir scoops TikTok up, and there's just a few more cheers. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
As Ramir scoops TikTok away, Cress will lean into Finn, clasping their hands and kind of drumming their fingers upon their palm. Your artistry is really something.
Thank you. I think we've been here for a little bit, correct? I assume.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Finn is a little rosy-cheeked. I think he doesn't drink very much, and when he does, it hits him quick. He's a younger man, so I think like his little deep blue blush gets a little deeper. So he goes, "Thank you very kindly. It's important to do things right and to do things intentionally and to do things with care." And you can tell that he's pantomiming something that's been like taught to him by whether it be his father or his sister or his grandmother, like in the cadence that they've spoken it. And he's kind of orating that to you. And he trails Cress up and down, kind of landing on the hands as they're sort of drumming. "I was going to ask if you wanted one."
Cress opens their palm to this black spot that the Axiomites marked them with. I was given this without my consent. And that very ancient wisdom from your lips, I like very much. To do something with intention and care. How would you change this? What would you put here? And as Cress asks you that, you see Cress's moving tattoos are sort of fixating on this point. Waves furl outward from that black spot, and then the canaries, tiny and yellow, begin circling that black point. As if they wish to erase the black spot itself, but those tattoos can't touch it.
I think Finn, without even thinking about it, I think he grabs Cress's hand very, very gently and just starts trailing his thumbs across their palms, looking at this black spot that just sort of shifts like water, moving and shifting. What do you think about a wishing well to turn their ill omens into your own luck? And I think without even thinking about it, he puts the tattoo on the curse mark he has on the side of his face.
I like a wishing well very much. Cress, their hand pressed to that curse, runs their thumb over it. Is there something we can do here? Something you want done? You didn't choose that either.
No. But we're not the marks they leave on us. And I'd like to get this curse dealt with when it makes sense, when we're able. I don't think it's something we can do right now.
David, it's been a minute since we went over the particulars of the curse. Do we have a sense of does Cress have a sense of what could be needed to remove it? Because I button forget.
Let's take a look-see.
I feel like there are remove curse spells, and I think I might have access to them, but...
Yeah, a remove curse spell would be exactly the sort of magic you'd need. A few... I mean, as far as, like, curses go, Cress, you know that, yeah, healers and the like, you know, the common knowledge would be the type to handle that kind of stuff.
I remember why I can't do it, because it's occult and divine.
The curse, the
remove
the
curse.
Remove curse. Yeah.
Yeah, or there's a remastered version. Hold on. No. The remastered Cleanse Affliction does include Primal.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think that might be very new.
Okay. And that's fine with me. Yeah, if you have access to it, you can take it, then that would be the one.
Awesome.
Cleanse.
It's a level 2.
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah,
I'll get rid of Dismantle as prepared right now. I won't have Dismantle. I'll have Cleanse Affliction. If that's okay. Or I can prep it for the next day.
That's fine. I mean, we're in fairly loose time, right?
I was going to say it's been a couple days. It would make sense if they did prep it.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't...
for a bit. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. You want it handled?
Well, ideally, yeah. That'd be amazing. I think Finn's listening to this, not clocking that Cress is like, I can take care of it right now.
Yeah.
He gets lost in their eyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Getting lost in Cress's eyes, I think you watch their pupils dilate, and you've been in the dream, Finn. You see in the darkness, which is more of a deep blue than a true black of their pupils, the faintest glimpse of wisteria petals drifting and the bubbles of that aquatic space where the tree of Dwog resides over the dream. And you're holding Cress's hand to that mark of the curse. It's been so busy, so frantic. We've had so many days where every casting of magic has been hoarded for the perfect moment, where the first and foremost of our objectives was simply to survive. And we are finally at a point where higher order needs can be addressed. We have survived. Cress traces their thumb over the mark, and you suddenly feel as their thumb no longer feels like skin, but soft like wisteria petals. And the scent drifts on the air with all the sense of revelry, alcohol, the sweat of a hard, long day. There is this fragrance that suffuses your person. And with that fragrance of the dream, you feel something wash away from your person and drift out the open windows and into the twilight sky. As your curse is cleansed.
I think Finn had gotten used to that weight. That curse made him a monster to those who met him for the first time. And given the parallel affliction of Zephrine bonded to his soul and the change in his appearance, there was so much of him that felt like a monster. And I think just in a natural response to this weight being lifted, Finn just sits up a bit straighter. And I think he takes the first deep inhale, and he exhales just as deeply with a sense of calm and relief. He's done so much work. Cress has done so much work. And yet here they are in a party being a miracle worker. I know you're going to say I owe you nothing.
Yeah.
But I'll give the gift back in kind.
In Reese. You're already a gift.
He just hugs Cress.
They hug him tightly. Think breathing deeply in and out for as long as Finn needs.
I think that relief kind of boils over until it's not like sobbing, but you can feel his body just sort of trembling. As he just, thank you. Thank you for being here and for helping me.
It's been a long time.
In me.
What?
And for believing in me.
That's as easy as breathing. Dan, it's been a long time coming. You deserve to be seen for who you are.
He takes... Oh, no, go ahead, David.
No, you go ahead.
As I say, he takes her hand and he pulls out the pen that he's been working with. And he just starts to sketch the tattoo. Which is just this interwoven, it's almost like knotwork, which very clearly has Jotun engraved on it. And he'll just say, if I'm allowed to invent something quick, David.
Yeah.
In the Nixonkov, we live in the mountains, and wells are our quickest sources of water. They're also circles of protection. It's said that you throw your darkest thoughts down the well. They sink to the bottom, and what you pull up is the kindest of intentions. This dark spot will only bring forth light moving forward.
I'd like to go there with you someday. Throw a thought down a well.
I'd love that. I'd love nothing more than to go home.
These two, Cress and Finn, sit at a table. I mean, it is an intimate moment. I imagine very much these two characters, heads together. Maybe the horns just grazing past each other. I mean, you're that close to each other, right? Just an occasional little click as they touch. The party behind you all that's taking place just kind of drifts off to a blur as the two of you focus in on each other. There is a little kind of calling you guys back after a moment. You're not even sure how long you were engrossed with one another. As Daddy says, "Your drinks."
Thank you, Daddy.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
And as you guys take the drinks, Daddy goes, "Oh, and Finn, Granny Mal is planning to deliver some provisions to Osna, if you'd care to join."
Yes, I'll accompany her. I should check in with Osna and see if there's anything she needs. I think I'm one of the only people that can, aside from Granny Mal, who can communicate with her.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak up just a little bit more?
I wasn't sure if that was just me, but I just checked and you're all the way up.
Finn's a soft-spoken guy.
Yeah.
He's just a soft-spoken lad. Let me pull my mic just a wee bit closer to myself as well.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, Granny and what's his name? Daddy says, "Well, no rush. I still need her working the kitchen. So, please, at your leisure. Right? Let me not intrude anymore, though." And he gives a little clap on the shoulder of the two of you, and he says, "Enjoy your evening," and he slips away. You guys are welcome if you have anything else you'd like to discuss. Otherwise, I do have another interruption incoming.
What gets interrupted?
A little bit later, we'll say maybe a few minutes after Daddy kind of departs. You guys are, maybe a bit deeper into these drinks now, right? This is, by the way, just a gorgeous whiskey, very smooth, right? It's got a very smoky kind of aftertaste on the tail. Finn, I think but actually both of you would remember Axne being quite a purveyor of fine liquors. Immediately you think, Axne might like a glass of this, or, a bottle if Daddy can spare it. But as the thoughts kind of come to you, and again, Finn, I like the description of you guys getting a bit tipsier, right? The party's starting to wind down. Your table is... The events at your table are interrupted by none other than Pascal, who saunters into the tavern straight-backed, looks hawkishly above the crowd, spots your table, and makes a beeline towards you, pausing occasionally as revelers kind of walk past, and there's a sort of like dismissive following of the eyes as people walk past, and Pascal continues to make his way over to you. And he says, there you are, and...
Hello, Pascal. I think Chris gestures to a bottle and offers it to I imagine Pascal is taken back to Cress's returns from their work as the seeker for the Royal Bestiary, when they would bring things back for Anatole and Pascal. And usually Pascal would be like spell components, but every once in a while, like you're talking about this essentially like scotch, right? This like peated whiskey. And I imagine Pascal has very fine tastes. I know you don't like a lot. You're gonna love this.
He pauses and for a moment goes, roll me a diplomacy check. Let's actually play a little bit of the game here.
Could I possibly assist with a snide comment?
Perhaps, but you are drunk, so I'll need just know if you get a failure, critical failure, you might invoke a penalty. But I'm all for it.
I rolled a 25.
That's pretty good, though.
I'm gonna leave it.
Actually, pretty good at diplomacy.
You know what, Finn? Finn, you're tipsy enough where you think you made the comment in your head.
He said it in his head. Finn's next to you, just.
Take the hero point, Alec. As drunk Finn is sitting there chuckling to himself about the things he's saying to Pascal. Pascal takes the glass, though, Cress. 25, you say. There's a pause before he takes the glass, but looks at it, reaches out, picks it up, holds it up against the light, looking at the clarity through the glass.
He twirls it and the legs are thick and like caramely.
Sniffs and knocks it back, a little swish. You can hear like the sucking of the whiskey, teeth across lips, right? Tasting it like an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Smacks his lips. Well, that is fine indeed. I understand why you're late now.
What am I late for?
Oh. Well, it seems you forgot that the king requires your assistance this evening in sowing seed.
I forgot! Cress stands up, like, corks the bottle, pushes it at Finn. I'm bad. Again.
You're perfect.
Finn sways.
he just said, "You're perfect. Good luck."
Thank you. We're gonna go grow plants. I'm sorry, Pascal.
Oh, it's not me you should be apologized to. Rather, it is our esteemed monarch. Although I suppose that's a loaded term.
I think you might be the only person actually upset about it.
He looks at you, he says, "Oh, you are having quite a night, Mr. Reese, I see."
You do well with a good drink and a deep breath.
Perhaps I'll take you up on that. But later, there is business to be done. Cressida?
Absolutely,
Royal business.
Pascal. Royal business. The look on Chris's face, which they shoot up to Pascal, is just the like, they've had this conversation before, but just I'm not built for it expression.
Yeah. The look at Pascal's face is, yeah, I know.
What a fucking dick, dude. Yeah, no shit.
And then our two sea elves then take a brisk march out of the tavern. And after a moment, Finn, you linger there, the rest of your glass disappearing in short order, and then a mental projection hits your mind. It takes a moment to realize that it's not one of your thoughts, but it is, in fact, Granny Mal across the room projecting, communicating at you via that sort of empathetic connection.
He stands up. He stretches, like, skims the ceiling. And then,
Yeah. Hits a chandelier.
Shit. All right. Blah. All right, Granny Mal, would you like to accompany me? Well, may I accompany you to see Asna?
There's a solemn nod.
All right, shall we?
And you shall. The two of you depart, making your way. Cress and Pascal, the two of you heading somewhat northeast towards a section in the rampart walls that Finn's team has just recently cleared away, where Nepeta has been hard at work forming new gardens, right, in preparation for this. Another milestone of the town of Damaril. Meanwhile, Finn, yourself, and Granny head somewhat towards the south along a path somewhat familiar to you towards Gron's Grotto, where, Asna is residing.
Perfect.
Let's see. Anyone want to go first?
I'll do it.
All right. Cress.
I don't care either way.
Okay. No, you're fine. Cress, we'll start with you. You are led with Pascal. As the two of you are walking over there, Pascal explains, Anatol's not mad or anything. He's just nervous when it comes to matters of... seems to be more comfortable when it comes to dealing with matters of war than it is with the basics of running a kingdom.
Rebuilding's not really a skill any of us have had to hone.
It's true. But it is at least a skill that it seems you have a talent for.
I think that's probably because it's my specialty that's been destroyed. The natural world. But you and Cress will genially, they're drunk. They'll
Yeah.
like bump into Pascal. You're the one who studies the histories. You got a sense of how to order things. I'd love to. I imagine you got a whole bunch of knowledge in that head that is very useful, and I'd love to hear it.
And I would love to provide it if you can convince our king that it is still of value to us.
What do you mean?
Don't fret. It's simply me coming to terms with things is all. Come now. Don't worry about it. Let's just get this business done with. You can see Pascal, I'd say, Cress, with a fairly passive insight. Maybe Pascal is just kind of having a rough day or something. Seems not really interested in talking. Or, I think too, tell you what. You remember, well, let's see, give me a history check. Or society. I'll take society.
I was about to
With a
say, I
recall
don't think
knowledge.
history's a
Yeah, history's not a thing, so we'll take society.
society. The thing I'm not trained in. Yeah, no.
Okay.
6.
No worries. No worries. A little bit of quirky information about Pascal that doesn't come to mind at the moment. But, Cress, in fairly short order, the two of you arrive at Nepetta's little garden. You arrive at something akin to sort of like rice paddy fields, kind of emanate going from the wall down in towards what was once the bay, which is a little bit naturally lower than the bluff that you are on, as it kind of layers downwards. You see and it kind of takes your breath away a little bit as you enter. But you do see Anatole kind of standing awkwardly next to Nepeta and a lot of other little fae folk who have been helping build the garden, somewhat unsure of what to say or do as he says, well, it's quite nice, I suppose. You reckon you'll get good sun? What you can, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry for being late. And Cress will go up to him and I think press a little bottle of whatever they've grabbed from Bistro Daddy into his palm.
He passes it in the palm as Anatole goes, well, there's our hand to the king. He takes the bottle. Well, thank you. I suppose that might make up for it just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. I am sorry. I will do better. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Honestly, I think they were waiting for you more than they were waiting for me anyway.
Right. Cress has never used their gift of the Kodama, and they're not going to use it now, but I think there's that latent energy radiating off of Cress that the Fae gathered here can feel. That blessing unused.
Yeah, button, take a hero point. That's what session.
That was
like
session D&D times. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like single session Sansi. Holy crap.
And with this gift radiating unspent and saved, I think there's an understanding that Cress holds dear. Like, Cress holds dear their connection with nature. Not just as a druid, but as someone who sees a decimated world and is unwilling to waste what little power that world has managed to press back into the fold, into the denizens that live upon it. Cress starts distributing little seedlings to all of the Fae and to Nepeta, to Anatole and Pascal as well. I have always viewed the growing of things as a dance. We take our first furtive steps out of the dirt as our roots grow deep and our stems stretch high, reaching for a sun that right now is hidden away from us. So we must trip the light fantastic to bring a little sunshine here. And Cress, seeing Anatol's discomfort and maybe Pascal's distance and even a little bit of disdain, will pull both of them in as there's this twofold aim. The first aim is to scatter the seeds that we've gathered here with this plant growth spell, which, isn't like a one action spell. This will take time. Cress wants to scatter these seeds in a more naturalistic method. They're not looking to create rows. This is they're mimicking the chaos and the disorder of nature in order to best propagate it. Wherever the seeds fall, it is the spots, the places with the perfect amount of nutrients, with the right shade or lack thereof, that they will grow. And so rather than trying to be uniform, they want to mimic nature. And in that, Cress is going to be utilizing what Anatole and Pascal would recognize as the court dances of Zel Adil, which follow the currents of the deep ocean and are not uniform, but rather twisting and winding.
Twisting, winding. There's a lot of kind of these deep or varying swaying motions. Very natural sort of flow to it. I like it.
And in that, there's this second goal of Cress's, which is to draw Pascal and Anatole together. They had this game that they would play over their century of life together, where obviously all of them, but Anatole and Pascal especially, had to partake in numerous balls, these courtly events where dance was necessary, and they had honed their abilities to perfection, where Cress has always been sort of someone they've had to teach and drag along. Cress is not built for it.
Out of your element.
Very much out of their element. And there is a little game or ritual that Anatole and Pascal practiced with Cress, where before these courtly events, Cress, in sort of a panic because I couldn't remember any of the steps, would ask them to give Cress lessons. And where they would start out with lessons in the courtly dances, it would invariably end up in a game of what they call Toss the Druid, where Anatole or Pascal would initiate a dance move to pass Cress from one partner to the other, be it like a lift or a turn or a spin, only for Cress to wild shape into something that changes the trajectory of the move. And it becomes a guessing game for Pascal and for Anatole to see what new direction. It's basically catch. Catch with a flying squirrel or whatever the case may be, whatever Cress turns into. And so as Cress is holding these seeds, with the faint music wafting over the space from Bistro Daddies, Cress initiates the dance, first with Anatole, but I think both of them immediately understand what Cress is initiating. It's like muscle memory.
Absolutely. Cress, Anatole kind of senses what you're going for, right? And is at first a little unsure, right? But Anatole trusts you and begins to kind of follow the steps, kind of raising an eyebrow. And then as you scatter the seeds with this method and he starts to pick up on what it is you're going for, he nods and smiles and starts to respond in kind with these sort of big motions, and begins to do a big lift, twirling and getting underneath you, and supporting you at your hip, raising you up into the sky for the first druid toss.
And as the first druid toss manifests, Cress flies into the sky with this lift. The seeds whirl out. They catch non-existent light and glitter as they fall into their perfect places for this plant growth spell. And the seeds take on a wild spin as Cress's humanoid form shifts, and you suddenly see a little bat that hasn't unfurled its wings kind of pull its wings to the side and veers toward, but not perfectly at, Pascal.
Yeah. Pascal, Cress, as you approach, you can see Pascal is a lot more reluctant to play the game. Again, in something of a mood. Right. But there is a sort of infectious energy in the space at the moment as you guys begin this dance. A few steps in now of yourself and Anatole, the Fae and Nepeta have all kind of gathered. Little John sees Anatole lift you and throw, and as you spin into a bat in the air, Little John goes, "What?" And their birds, your army of birds, are all also flying around, providing and adding to the music that just kind of drifts across Dameril from Bistro Daddies. And even Pascal, sourpuss that he is, cannot help but respond somewhat in kind, although the movement to assist is, we'll say, a little rude. As the bat kind of flutters over, rather than kind of catching you in a sort of graceful motion that accepts and guides and redirects. There's a more of a sort of catch. Cress, you are not properly braced for that impact, as you are kind of now flipped over and tossed back. You're being now a bit dizzy, as Pascal's motion is, we'll say, cooperative, but not gentle.
Yeah. Cress is fine with that. In point of fact, when they would play Toss the Druid, Pascal and Cress spent a lot of time together, but they were never friends. And their Toss the Druid game, whenever they played it, it was never Pascal's practice to be like gentle with Cress, like playful maybe, but definitely in a way like he enjoyed like frazzling them. It was an opportunity to show the distance between Anatole and Pascal and Cress in terms of stature. So Pascal does that, and it's familiar, and Cress takes it to be a sign of a return to form in what they hope to be a reunion between Anatole and Pascal. So as Cress is thrown, they transform back into themselves and land kind of harder against Anatole. But they look back at Pascal, and it's a very like it's weird. The expression on Cress's face is one of encouragement, which is definitely not the norm for how this game has gone before. There's been Cress getting frazzled and frustrated in the past.
And I think Cress, in that collision with Anatole, as Anatole kind of swings you now, right? And the two of you in this twirl spin seedlings off of you that now litter the ground. And you kind of glance back with that encouraging glance at Pascal. You are close, obviously very close enough to Anatole that you can see on his face is maybe that frustration that you would have once felt. The frustration kind of just kind of maybe a little bit more of a check-in as you're caught, and he spins. He kind of gives a glance over at Pascal, but whispers to you, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. Right. This is great.
All right, good. Well, let's try this one more time. And he kind of does this like deep slide in and begins to throw you. And we'll say that kind of how it goes back and forth for a little bit as you guys begin to scatter some seeds. I feel like there needs to be a check here. So let's call this performance or nature. I'd offer you the choice.
I would prefer nature. Please.
All right.
I'm gonna use that inspiration or that
All right.
hero point.
You got it.
Because that was 2. Hey.
Be
nice to me.
please.
Please be nice to me. I want this to be good. Okay. 18 plus
Significantly better.
14.
Oof, so 32. Okay.
32.
Cress, that is an excellent roll. These, just quick peace of mind. The garden is going to be properly seeded. Okay, seeds have been sown. Nepeta is very pleased, but how this scene will all come to an end is something we will find out in a moment. As I want to take a brief moment, just hop over and let's check a look at Finn. All right, Cress, we'll leave you as you were kind of being tossed from Anatole to Pascal. You know, again, seeds kind of flying all which way. Camera pans over as Finn is stumbling with Granny Mal into Gron's grotto. Finn, you are met with the makeshift little bridge, planks of wood pressed into wet soil, and the sound of running water up ahead in the cave, trickling down the hall towards you, and you hear snoring. It seems like Osna is asleep as you enter.
I think Finn will just kind of, as he's walking, he'll kind of put his hands to the wall, collect some water, and just splash himself in the face, get a little, like, kind of get with it, and, like, sweep his hair back, forget he has a horn, and just go...
I think the last time you were in this cave, I don't know if you had horns. No, you must.
I did not.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. There's moments where you forget, and like you're passing through like a very narrow area, and then your horns kind of scratching.
Just kind of it's like a little. And he goes, shit. He's just kind of slouched down. I think he's as close as he can be to Granny Mal's level, and he's just Thank you for accompanying me. I'm sorry for the very treacherous journey.
There is a series of images, Finn, a holding of hands, a warm hug. You can tell a support. Granny Mal, not at all. She's basically expressing no need to apologize. Basically, it's like talking in emojis.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to think about this from here on out. It's just we're talking funny. In emojis.
She's sending memes. She's sending.
Yeah, exactly. It's GIFs and emojis.
GIFs on repeat. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I gotta have Discord open. So, Finn, you guys make your way down the hall. Osna does not wake, but you do know that Osna, being a Cyclops, is prone to rage. But something about Granny Mal's cooking does the job of subsiding that rage. So, Granny Mal leaves you behind for just a moment, places a giant pot, like actually carries the whole pot to the grotto, lays it on a table, removes the lid, blows a bit of air over the pot so that the smell sort of fill the room, and backs away with you to the other side of the bridge. After a while, Osna still snores, not really moving, so Granny Mal kicks a stone with the bladed legs, causing a bit of a crash. And at that, Osna does wake up, and there is a mighty roar, a guttural scream of anger and rage. You can see a shadow. There's a scant light source, maybe a couple of torches along the wall, kind of catching the shadow of the Cyclops in this rage, as you see it moving against the wall. But in short order, the motion pauses, and changes as the head tilts. You see the shadow tilting, and you hear large sniffs. Moves over towards the bowl, towards the pot, and begins to feast. After a moment, a few large bites, the breathing slows. There's a large burp that echoes across the hall. The walls ring a little bit.
Right.
And Granny Mel nods, signaling, okay, we can go in.
Thank you for your impeccable cooking.
A thumbs up emoji.
Finn will approach, and I think he'll, in Jotun, just please sit. I'd like to check in with you and see how you're doing, see if there's anything you need.
Asna is like hunched over the table, one hand like kind of pinning down, the other kind of slurping at the soup like a giant cup, and you see the heavy lidded eye go and lock on you, Finn. Right? Pulls the hand away, and you can see just stew dripping down the face onto the floor into the sand, and a word responds to you as she moves to get comfortable, and it says,
"World Builder, you come."
You can just call me Finn, Asna.
Finn.
I'll take it. How are you settling in?
With food.
Yes, Granny Mal is keeping you quite comfortable and in that, keeping everyone safe.
Granny Mal and Asna kind of share a bit of a look, and you know the two have become quite close. Asna being something of an outcast, and with Granny Mal's form being what it is, again, outside of their consent. You know, the two have have begun to share a bit of a kinship. Granny Mal actually moves into Gron's old room towards the back.
Yeah.
And you know that's where she's been sleeping. But Asna, you know, begins to eat and says,
"What news? You well?"
Well, everything's moving at a pretty good pace with the reconstruction of the city. If that's what you mean.
Bad news.
You're cutting out a bit, David.
Oh, she shakes her head and looks down. She goes,
Bad news. That bad news. More city. More people.
You long to go home.
At that, she kind of looks up. The heavy lid closes as she kind of contemplates and says,
No home for us now. No more.
I'm sorry. What was it like?
Me. Quiet. The fish. I like fish. But then, the gray ones come. They kill my sheep. Eat my fish. They do this.
and she gestures to the stab wounds, and you recognize, Finn, the wounds left behind, scarring left behind from where the marsh giant's hooks gripped into her flesh.
You know, in the next Sinkov, we had a lot of fish. I used to sail with my father. I like fish too. We had these large salmon. They used to jump out of the water knocked one of my infant teeth out of my head when I was just a boy. I'd never heard my sister laugh as hard as that. Maybe when we make our way there, we can find a home for you. Amongst something familiar. Stone, valleys, kin. And I think Finn still, I mean, like, he's still a bit drunk, so I think he trembles a little bit at the word kin, like not knowing what resides in the Nexenkov, not knowing
Yeah.
the fate of his father, his sister, his grandmother.
Asna looks at you, Finn.
This you want.
Of course I want to go home. There's just so many things pulling us in so many different directions. I can't promise you when we'll go, but I promise you that we will. I will return to them.
Asna looks at you, Finn. Finn's demeanor, I know he's sobering up as this conversation goes on. But how would you describe Finn's demeanor and body language as he talks about home?
I think he's not making himself small. That's not the it's almost the way you sit surrounding a fire late in the night when you're having those deep conversations with friends.
Yeah.
You're kind of all hunched toward each other. You're speaking in lower, more intentional tones. He's talking as if he's cradling a small bird, as if he's protecting something sacred.
Asna looks and asks,
You, chief of home.
Yes.
I hear.
That's a long, very long story. In the Nexenkov where I grow up, he kind of laughs at the idea. I'm something of a prince. I don't think that's the right word for it, but it's something like a prince. My father is chief, and I am to succeed him to be a leader. I was, suppose.
No.
What?
You. No, chief. More.
He kind of squints, and I think those looming questions begin to bubble up in Finn's mind. Did you know that sending me to the door of the Gygus would kill me?
Asna looks at you and closes the eye and knocks back the soup.
Yes. Must I?
A bit of a warning would have been appreciated, Asna. People I care about got scared. I was scared. Do you know what it wants? The Gygus.
Asna stops and puts the palm to the forehead, the eye closed, the hair kind of shagging down, as you can see, goes into sort of deep thought as she considers her next words carefully.
It wants home. A home. It is not home. No more.
Her little wow always gets me, dude. Oh,
it's a
shit.
singular little punctuation.
Yeah. Wow. Beagles are crazy, man. It wants to go home. It wants to come back here to this place. This world.
Asna nods.
And so do dragons.
Asna tilts her head.
He doesn't think she knows much about it, but it was worth a shot. Asna, you knew about me before I knew about you, which leads me to believe that you know things about me. Is that correct? About my life, about my family, about my connections?
Asna, now leaning back, pets the tummy, gives out a big old burp, and goes,
Finn, world builder. More than chief. Great chief. This I know. This Asna see.
and Finn, you know that Cyclops, some Cyclops, are given the gift of foresight.
Mm-hmm.
Or perhaps not given the gift, but possess the gift, let's say.
Yeah. And what if I don't want it? What if I don't want to be a chief greater than a chief? What if I don't want to be a world builder? What if I want to build a school? What if I want to teach people? What if I want a simpler life? What then? Do I have a choice?
Asna stops and considers and starts to kind of meditate deeply. Finn, as these questions are coming, you can get the sense, I think, like just kind of sort of, let's say, passive sort of sense motive here.
Yeah.
As Asna's not really trying to be secretive,
Mhm.
but you do know that cyclopids do struggle with, well, communication in general. They tend to live isolated, and they're not exactly known for their intelligence or their eloquence.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you can see a struggle, perhaps a struggle of finding the way to communicate to you what she's thinking, or perhaps a frustration at not knowing the answer for you. She starts to kind of huff.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have expected you to have all the answers I needed. That's not your responsibility. And I think Finn starts to think about someone who might have that clarity. The person who bonded him to Zephrine. His father. He thinks about the messages that Cress has been sending through dreams. Maybe all of this time Finn has been hiding from asking the questions because he's afraid of the answers. But once again, a responsibility has been thrust upon him without his consent. He doesn't want the answer, he needs the answers. He looks at Asna and he feels terribly for her. She didn't ask for this gift of sight. She didn't ask for this life.
Yeah. You know that the Cyclopes, thank you button, are I think this is a check you had before. Your grandmother taught you that of giant kin, theirs is a tragic story.
Yeah.
A fallen empire and cursed by the gods to be violent and hunger and suffer an almost unrelenting hunger.
Asna, would you like to learn how to read and write? In the hopes that maybe it could make communicating between us a bit easier.
Asna looks at you, and the eye narrows as she leans forward, and she says, "Sst." And the way she says the word, it comes with almost like a reverence. She looks hopefully at you. You can see there's a glimmer as the eye stares at you. It does that anime thing where it almost like quivers with anticipation.
We'll have nightly lessons then.
Asna gives you a smile. A smile it's difficult to yeah, exactly, it's an expression that the face is unused to. Yeah. It's kind of like a few gaps and some very large sharp teeth.
Yeah.
The eye itself was kind of like takes almost like the shape of a smile.
Yeah, that's so funny. But
okay,
yeah, we can do that. I want to help you, and I want you to be better. You're not the curse that has been laid upon you.
I think Asna settles in Finn with an ease that you have not quite seen before, outside of her having been freshly fed. As now, I would say over the next half an hour to an hour, Finn, maybe you spend some time here with Asna, the two of you conversing about different things. You approaching gently, right? And as Asna, the walls begin to come down. There are moments of frustration, outbursts of anger, where as a question is posed that she doesn't have an answer to immediately, she growls and throws a fist that, might break a chair in one crunch, right? But Finn, you being, I mean, if Finn is the man I imagine Finn to be.
I don't think that scares him. I think he is intent on being there, and he is intent on being patient. I think he will look at Granny Mel and just maybe ask for some privacy, just in case like embarrassment is any sort of like inciting factor. Like
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, well then, before we hop off to break, Cress, as we will leave Finn's scene here a little bit, and we'll hop over to Cress, who is... Cress, you guys are still playing a bit of Toss the Druid, right? The game has been going on for a little bit. Sweat, like, plainly coating the bodies of your companions, and you when you are not in some form that would not naturally sweat. and seeds kind of now having flown all manner of directions. Um, Again, with your 32, you are successful in the sowing of seeds,
Yeah,
right?
the spell also, just as a quick question, so the primary check is nature for the caster, and then the secondary checks are listed as farming lore and survival. And it occurs to me that Pascal might have farming lore, and Anatole might be adept at survival. If they wanted, if this is aid, which I think they are giving.
Yeah, I'll have them be, well, if they're secondary casters, they'll make checks. They'll make some checks themselves that'll help with the spell. 1 second here. And grab it. I should grab a dice. We'll have an Anatole roll. Nice. Alright, it's 17 on the dice. I cannot imagine with Anatole's stat block that would be anything shy of a failure. That would be a failure. Man, when was the last time we used Anatole's stat block?
Off screen.
Yeah, right. You said survival?
Or farming lore, which I don't imagine Anatole has.
No, he doesn't. But with a 17, he will just be shy of you.
Okay.
But we will cross into the 30s. So yeah, we are
All right.
critical success. Is there a critical success effect?
Yes, it doubles the crop yield in the area, or increases the area to a 1 mile radius.
Oh.
How
okay.
much space do we have?
Oh boy, I hadn't even considered that it'd be over a mile. So let's say like.
If it's not a mile, then let's say we double the crop yield.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think as the seeds fall, with that, in the manner that they catch a light that isn't there, they retain that glow on the ground, and as they are like the footsteps of the dancers, the fae, and this group of sea elves, plants them deeper into the soil. It's almost as if that light multiplies, and we are lit from below.
Yeah. And I would say too, as you guys are doing this, for Anatole's part, as he continues to dance with you, I mean, his body really starts to heat up, and you can see the scar on his chest begin to emanate some light as well on the subject of light, and as he steps, you can see the soil also, being provided that extra layer of heat that, kind of warms it up.
Yeah.
As the seed helps the seeds, really take root and acclimate well.
Cress is so dizzy at this point. They were already drunk. They're being a little rough-housed, and they just as they're thrown back to him and transform back into themselves, they're kind of like, they press a hand to his chest and like, "You're like your own little son."
He says, I got nothing really clever at the moment, but as Anatole kind of dips and swings you, I think he's even, starting to breathe a bit heavy as he does like this one big twirl. Cress, you kind of roll along his back, you kind of spin outwards, and as he kind of like straightens up, it flips you over back towards Pascal. Do you wild shape again or change form again in flight?
Is there an animal? Cress knows that Pascal, by and large, does not like animals. Is there one Pascal likes, or seems to have liked more?
Ooh, Tulka?
Tulka, yeah. Cress will transform into the same type of dog.
Okay. And Cress, you become, as you're kind of flipped towards Pascal, you end up kind of rolling across the floor. You're briefly covered in dirt, but then as you kind of finish the roll, all of a sudden it sheds off of you as you now have a fur coat, and you are this big, loping lupine steps making your way towards Pascal, who again, you can see he's also quite tired, quite sweaty. And was already kind of rough with you. And as you get closer, there is a bit of a clumsy step on Pascal's part, right? But he, in an attempt to save himself, he kicks out of it to kind of catch his step, and as a result, kind of ends up kicking you in the flank and sending you sprawling across the floor.
Cress, I think, quickly wild shapes out of the last thing Cress wants is for Pascal to feel like he would kick Tolka. So
Yeah.
I think they immediately return to their own form and kind of jump back up. They're dizzy and woozy, but they like do their best. They're also trying to save Pascal a little bit in that moment.
Yeah. As you go to do so, it's unfortunately, I mean, at this point with the fatigue and everything setting in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a rather sort of clumsy change of events here. Give me a reflex save. I'm gonna have Pascal roll 1, 2.
I rolled a natural 20.
Nice. Ooh. Okay.
Plus 13.
Okay. Whew. Pascal rolled fairly mid. So what's going to kind of happen here is, Cress, you are kind of like bounding over. You're still in a fairly graceful stance, right? Pascal is not. And he pushes off of you. With your natural 20, you take no damage or anything. You're able to land, right? But Pascal's frustration is evident, as whether it is due to, again, already kind of in a mood, whether he's jealous of your grace or whatever the situation may be, he gets up and he kind of blows exasperatedly, and looks like he's about to turn to chastise you, as though this is your fault.
Yeah, and Cress will aid if possible. They'll say, "That was my bad. I'm sorry."
Yeah. Well, don't worry about the rolls here, as you kind of, you comment, right? There's a frustration that's still just evident as on Pascal's face, but he doesn't like commit to chastising you. But his body language and his demeanor was fairly obvious, right? Obvious enough that it does earn the ire of Anatole, who across the way, you see Anatole call out towards Pascal and begin to kind of walk towards you guys. You can see the heat radiating off of him intensifies beyond just the heat of effort and exertion, as his eyes level at Pascal. And he says, "Well, now that is just no kind of way to be handling a friend, Pascal."
That was an accident, and we're all so tired, and I misstepped. As I always do. You two, I don't know if you want to sense motive with either of them, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that Cress is really trying to like align the two of them. You two have always been better at this than I am.
Cress, I think the two of them are in a state where they kind of lose focus on you. Like your sense motive, neither of them believe that Cress is in any way putting any sort of animosity into this. As these two kind of now look at each other, the heat of the frustration becoming a bit more palpable between them. Right, and though Cress, you are trying to, reassure them that it is not in any way Pascal's fault, right? Pascal's demeanor towards Anatole is defiant nonetheless, which seems to just incense Anatole even more. Anatole is crossing over, and where his steps were providing once a heat that warmed the soil, it starts to scorch it, leaving behind blackened footprints in the dirt as he makes his way towards Pascal, who Pascal looks up at Anatole and says, "My apologies, Your Majesty. It seems my step is just not as sure as it once was." "Well, why don't you just get to stepping then, Pascal? And you take a minute to practice that."
Hey, we're all... Cress will step in between them as they're watching Anatole's footsteps scorch the ground. Let's all take a breath. It's been a long time since we've done this, and it's all right. It's all... We've done a good thing here. We've done a good thing.
Pascal says, "The hand is right. We've done a good thing, and If it's all the same, perhaps I'll just take my leave before your temper undoes that, Your Majesty. And he starts to walk away, and Anatole just says, well, Pascal, let's hope you never find out the limits of my temper.
Anatole, you don't mean that.
And the two of them kind of huffily pull away from each other. And Anna, as Cress, as you stand there, unsure of what to do, you can sense Anatole seeing Pascal walk away. It's fine, Cress. It's nothing you did. It's his issue.
Anatole, he loves you and he's devoted to you. I know you two love each other. It's just a hard time.
No. What seems to be hard is that Pascal seems to think that because of our relationship, it earns him certain privileges that he has not actually earned through merit. And he's just having a hard time coming to terms with that.
I don't pretend to understand exactly. I can't bear the thought of you two growing apart.
I won't pretend I can't make any promises, but it seems like that is just the nature of life at times. People grow apart.
But I don't understand why. And if I...
You've done nothing wrong, Chris. As I've said, this is Pascal's issue. He looks at is Cress's expression somewhat similar to your own right now, Button?
Yeah.
He says, don't dwell on it, Chris. We've spent a century and then some trying to get that fella to understand that we're all in this together. And if he's not ready to come on board, well, that's his choice.
I think he is.
Well, the opportunity is welcome to him, should he wish to take it. Regardless, though, his treatment of you is not something that I will just continue to turn a blind eye to. The world is different now, and it's time he grew up. At this point, Cress, as you contemplate Anatole's words, and Pascal is now properly a few 100 feet away. He is passed by Nepeta and the Fae, who have come over to you all, and they're a little bit, upset about the fact that there's at least a strip of crops that are somewhat burnt now. But overall, very grateful as they shower upon yourself and Anatole heaps of praise and gratitude for your efforts here today. And just as you guys are as you are awash with that sentiment, Anatole, before he departs, or before the two of you depart, he says, by the way, if I might request your company in my chambers tonight. I've got a bit of, I think there's something you ought to see. And he winks at you.
Did he agree? All right, I'll wait.
And at that, Little John hears, "Will you accompany in my chambers tonight?" He goes, "What?"
Oh God.
And that's where we're going to take our break. So
What?
yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
You
The
know, Little
girls
John.
are fighting.
The girls are fighting.
Girls
The
are
girls
fighting.
are fighting. They
Stop
are.
fighting.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But hey, let's see what happens when we come back. We're going to take about 10 minutes, stretch our legs, get a drink of water, let the dogs out, and yeah, we'll see you back in about 10. Goodbye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Shh. Daddy, chill.
Hey guys, welcome back to Healthy Elf Productions. I hope that slipped in. We are going into the second half of session 41 of Unearthed Inheritance. This is our Pathfinder2e actual play campaign set in our homebrew world of Histaeria in a post-apocalyptic space, the town of Damaril. And we are going to come back after a wee time skip. Not by much. We'll say it is enough time that Cress and Anatole have returned to the Sky Citadel, and you are heading into kind of like the private area that is Anatole's, like, it's almost like it was a space where the head of the chief of the Sky Citadel would have resided. It's got like a separate audience chamber, a private audience chamber. Like, you guys have dropped Anatole off at that door, but I don't think anybody's actually been inside that space. Okay, it's where like the leader's family would have resided and stuff like that. In this space, you can see that there is something of an audience chamber, Cress, a rather like flowy, spacious one, very much in the same architecture vein as the rest of the Sky Citadel, right? Kind of rounded spaces where air will flow through nicely. It is very, if I have to think about a way to describe this space, it is flow. Right?
Yeah.
It is, you kind of like move from area to area. The halls are smooth, everything is sort of rounded. And there is even a sort of pedestal where the chieftain would have addressed the folks, the residents of the Citadel. There are a couple more rooms besides Anatole's. Axne's room is over here, as well as Zin's room. Anatole explains Zin, being a, paranoid bodyguard, likes to stay close.
Cress admires the chambers. I think, yeah, as we're going through this very flowy architecture, Cress will just comment, I'd never put together that the sea elves and the giants of the air had so much in common. It's a little like Zeladiel.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is certainly a bit reminiscent of home. Sets the heart at ease. It does.
Yeah. It suits you.
Well, it is still ultimately, hopefully, temporary. I'd like to imagine when this is all, before this is all said and done, we'll reclaim our home, Cress.
You think so?
I know so.
Every once in a while, I think about that statue of my mother. I would like to see it again.
Anatole grows quiet as he contemplates it as well, and opens the door, the final door to his chamber. And as you enter, Cress, you can see there is a bed at the central chamber, up on something of a pedestal, but the bed itself is floating, as the cloud giants would have no real need to like sit on it. But it is also made for a cloud giant, so it is rather large for Anatole. But something that is very striking as you enter the chamber is the canopy of the chamber. The ceilings are vaulted, and within that vaulted ceiling is the skull of a dragon. You see the bone hanging there above the bed. As Anatole, seeing your expression, he says, it's quite a trophy, isn't it?
Is that what it is, a trophy?
That's what Axne tells me. The Cloud Giants did their fair share of dragon slaying.
And who might that be?
I am unsure. Axne doesn't know. But Varaxes has not really responded when I've asked. Actually, hang on. I'm going to say Anatole probably is... I have not thought to ask.
Maybe that's something to try.
Very well could be. Suppose it would be nice to know. Make sure it's not a relative or something. That would be in poor taste.
Yes, it would. There's such a fraught history between the giants and the dragons. It does the heart good to see you working with Axne, me working with Finn. It doesn't have to be how it was.
Indeed. From what Viraxis has shown me, that history, or at least what we're told of that history, may not exactly be the truth.
What's the truth?
Significantly more complicated. But, and I hate to pass the buck, as it were, but I think that is a question I will let Viraxis answer for you himself.
Is there? You know me, I'm not necessarily adept at courtly manner. How does Viraxis like to be addressed? How does he move that?
Well, he's rather, you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
What is that friend of yours? The gnome. Her daddy.
Oh, of Brock? Brock Knackle?
That's the fella. Yes, Brock Knackle. He's got that same sort of I'm the center of attention sort of thing going.
Well, if he's anything like Brock, that makes plenty of sense. Some people are good at holding attention. You included.
Well, now, I will not deny that I too have a penchant for the dramatic.
I was gonna say charm.
I will accept that graciously.
There it is.
Well, Cressida, I've been accused of many things in my time, but being vague is not one of them. Well, how does this work? Do I just fall asleep and you wander in, or... I know you've...
I do need your consent.
Yeah, since I believe you entered my dreams before, or attempted to do so, and met up against Viraxis' defenses, and then Pascal's interference, so...
Pascal interfered to protect you. I don't blame him. He didn't know it was me for certain.
Yes, and his paranoia cost us valuable time. But that is neither here nor there.
Chris knows that their attempt tonight was a failure, and they're really feeling that. So they let it lie. But like they keep coming to Pascal's defense, and it's like hitting a brick wall. They're like,
yeah,
right, I'm gonna find a different way around this later. But for the time being, they'll focus on dream reading, so they'll explain. As I understand it, when you fall asleep, I fall into a sort of trance and walk into your dreamscape if you allow me to enter. I witness the contents, the plots, the emotional experiences of your dream as an observer. After we do this, you'll be immune to the experience for a week. As I observe your dream, which you'll be aware of as you've consented, you and Viraxis know I'm there and can communicate with me if you so wish it. I will attempt to learn about a single topic in the dream, symbols therein, in conjunction with you. So, Your prerogative is what we need to just pin down here. What do you want to glean?
Well, what I would like more than anything is for Viraxis to share with you what he shared with me. Get your interpretation. There's nothing further that I seek to glean at this time. But as the hand of the king and as my best friend, I feel that it is only right that you have the same information that I do.
I'm grateful, Anatole. I've been so afraid for Cuthbert. And for you. After knowing what the Hadril plans. Anything Phyrexis can tell us, can share. It'll help me protect you, and Cuth, and Gron and Finn. It'll make all the difference.
Well, let's get to it then. Suppose I'll just lay down.
Yeah. Cress will use their untamed form. Their fingers turn into long vines, and they know that Anatole can fly, but they're going to do a little bit of showing off. They're going to Spider-Man their way up onto the bed.
Nice.
Because it's like way up in the air, plop down.
Yeah.
And before Anatole even makes it up, I think they'll start singing a lullaby from Zeladil. I think this is something that both Anatole and Cress have done for each other in the past. If the other has been sick or has had a difficult time, there are these elven lullabies that in the cavernous spaces of Zel Adil would echo back and kind of create a rondelay, and Cress sees in this space the potential for the same to occur.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the notes ring out in the chamber, Anatole starts to yawn, and he goes, "Well, now that's just not fair." And in short order, Cress, he closes his eyes, his breathing steadies.
Cress is braiding his hair. I think they've done this before. Well, they'll have gone to bed with their hair all akimbo, and each of them will have woken up with like these intricate braids.
Yeah. Cress, as Anatole falls asleep, and you invoke the magic, what does it look like?
These braids are intricate, and I think Cress, for the first time as they are braiding Anatole's hair, sees not something identical, but something similar, something ancient, as their civilization is ancient, something similar to the knots in the wishing well that Finn was drawing earlier at Bistro Daddy's. And Cress wonders when or if their culture might have ever touched the giants. They remember the Storm Wardens and how the library at Zeladil had information on the Storm Wardens. And as Cress contemplates that, the braids themselves, in thematic tune and resonance with the night's exploration of the Wishing Well, begin to be threaded with these rivulets of water. And as the water sort of beads up, cooling Anatole's skin, and the braiding is used as a method for entering the trance-like state, the sort of flow of the motion. The floating bed seems to be surrounded in one giant bubble. The iridescent oil slick sheen growing more and more pronounced around it as the dream space pulls Cress toward Anatole in that transitional and lucid state. I think by the end of the braiding, Cress's head is bowed and their single horn is perfectly still between the two horns of Anatole as the two connect, and there is a visible thread tying the three.
Nice. And Cress, as that bubble kind of swirls around on the outside of it, it begins to kind of glow. And it's enough that it becomes bright enough that you have to kind of close your eyes, and you are awash with this sort of like pinpricks that kind of, tingles down your skin. And when you open your eyes again, you find yourself in a familiar and yet unfamiliar hall. The first thing you recognize is that you are in Zeladiel. As you had now in Anatole's dream, you can sense that you are now crossed into the dream world, and that Anatole's dreamscape is in fact Zeladiel. But it isn't the space beneath the surface. Rather, it is on a few of the islands, the small little archipelago that was just above the surface, where most people did not live. But it was the best view of the night sky you could get. And you find yourself standing with Anatole at the highest point in Zelodiel. The night sky unfurled above you. The cosmos revealed, the nebulas and chains of different constellations just awash above. As you guys enter that dream, Cress, and you take in that scene, let's check on Finn.
No, we're good. Keep it rolling, buddy. Keep it rolling, buddy.
No. Finn, you've been hanging out with Osna and Granny Mal for the last, we'll say hour or so, right? I'd say you sobered up a good bit, and you were walking back to Dameril.
Yeah.
Now alone, as Granny Mal has retired for the evening, and so is Osna. You're making your way back. You can see the Sky Citadel up in the distance as it kind of hovers over the town. You can see the wall that you've been working to build. It's taking shape. As you see it kind of catching the light of the perpetual twilight. Birds, in fact, aloft in the sky, Cress is doing an influence. It's kind of drawn them to the area. And Finn, you find you're making your way down what is now a recovered dirt road, passing Bistro's tavern, passing Daddy's tavern. The music has died down. You can tell already people have kind of gone in for the night, right? The lights are still on, right? People are probably still there, but it is quiet. And as you're making your way back into town, Finn, where are you headed? Where would you like to go next?
Man,
It is getting late if you wanted to sleep, or if Finn is a night owl, you tell us. A twilight owl.
A twilight owl. I think he'll kind of make his way back to the Sky Citadel.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think he's looking for anybody in particular. But if people are looking for him, hard to miss that guy.
Yeah. Well, let's say they're not looking for you, but something finds you. Something we call trouble. As Finn, you are walking past Daddy's Tavern. You're passing a building that has now been repurposed and reconstructed to house a few folk in town. And as you are making your way, you hear screaming coming from inside. You hear the sound of glass shattering, voices raised, panic.
Yeah, it's immediate
Keep
turn
walking.
on a heel. No, yeah. He goes to bed. He's fine. No, it's an immediate turn on a heel and booking it. It's that GIF from It's Always or Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Hold on.
Yeah, you hear that kind of like pop and sprinkle sound that glass makes when it breaks.
That's
Yeah,
so evocative. What a good way of putting that.
This is Finn right now. I dropped it in.
Yep. Finn, you run into what is now what you know to be a rebuilt crew house, place
Yeah.
where sailors would have once lodged before while they were looking for work. You can see as you enter in a lot of fish folk who are all kind of like heads sticking out of doors, looking down hallways, and you hear another chorus of screams. At the end of the hall, you turn into a chamber, and you can see glass on the floor. It looks like a glass tankard that perhaps had water in it or something was used to fend off an attacker. You see, unfortunately, one body on the ground, a pool of blood beneath it. Another body, still alive, hands held up defensively, is Pink Whiskey, the bard. And above Pink, spear in hand, is TikTok.
What the fuck?
It's TikTok, and Pink is kind of going, Tick, please! What are you doing? Tick, no! As TikTok thrusts down with the spear, and Pink Whiskey just kind of balls up and rolls away, sees you. Finn, help!
Finn is going to run in and use 2 actions to slam down.
Okay, let's
just knock a foe off balance.
Knock a foe off balance, yeah. Finn, you charge into the room. Is it attack roll?
I
believe it's
yeah, I make an attack roll.
Yeah, go ahead, give me an attack roll there.
Am I able to see who's dead?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's just the nameless fish folk.
Okay, it's okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to diminish their death, but
23.
I don't want to disrupt you. 23.
No, it's fair. I just wanted to like, if it were anybody Finn knows, like that'd be. I'd like to know. But yeah,
23 to hit will hit against the AC.
Okay. So I make an attack to knock a foe off balance and immediately follow up with a sweep to topple them. Make a melee strike if it hits and deals damage. So okay, I'll deal 9 damage to TikTok. Okay. And then I will make an athletics check to trip it. That's a natural 20 plus 16 for a 36.
Nice. Yeah. You see TikTok's got the spear in hand, and as he chunks down Finn, you catch TikTok and kind of crash against the floor and turn and hurl TikTok behind you. The Gripply, stunned, sprawled across the floor. That's 2 actions. You got one more?
I think. What can I do with an action? Can I? Yeah, I'm gonna sense motive with my last action here, and just try and like gauge like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, give me the perception.
Okay.
See what you can perceive with eyes unclouded, my friend.
Use a hero point on that one for sure. Is he's?
You think that motive would be important at this moment?
Yeah. Does he look like distress? Okay, so it's a 31.
31, Finn. 31 is a critical success on our buddy TikTok here. As you look at TikTok, now sprawled on the floor, kind of making his way back up to rightfulness. You can see the motion is somewhat awkward, somewhat unsteady, somewhat unbalanced. And as you look closely at TikTok, the eyes are closed and the breathing is steady. TikTok is asleep.
What the fuck? Okay.
For all intents and purposes, appears to be asleep. But that is your 3 actions.
Yep.
And I think with that, what will happen next is we'll take 1 action where TikTok will reach into a sort of like TikTok's armor is these sort of like leather pads. TikTok will reach under a pad, and as on the unfurl, he flicks his hands outwards and casts a net. So I'm going to first attempt. So that's 1 action to draw the net. 2nd action to hurl the net.
You and your nets.
I love a fucking net. Finn. Oh, I need to roll. Come on.
I will reactive strike here as well.
Oh, TikTok. It is a manipulate to draw the net, so yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna. Finn's just full bare knuckle
TikTok reaches
boxing
it.
right now.
Yeah,
like the net goes and he just bah. Okay, let me. 25 to hit.
25 will hit, not a crit, but it will.
That is 8 fist damage.
TikTok is bloodied.
Okay.
TikTok is.
And I'm gonna make it clear, he is not looking to kill TikTok. He's just like
Finn, the TikTok killer.
Yeah, he's not intent on killing this guy.
Okay. With the old 1-2, Finn.
Pop.
I don't know. I don't believe it disrupts. I think if it was a crit, it would disrupt.
No,
so,
I just do damage.
You do the damage. Yeah. So
yeah.
I will make. So yeah, I rolled a.
Oh no. Oh yeah, if the attack was a critical hit, and the
then
trigger
it
was
disrupts
okay. Yeah. So
that is the kind of 20 you might blush when you take a roll to mom.
Is that against my AC?
Against your AC.
25.
25, we miss. Finn, you just 1-2 clutch the unfurled net out of the air and pitch it to the floor. 2 actions there. TikTok is going to take the last action to jump away.
Okay.
As we are going to Gripply the fuck out of here. Is TikTok kind of begins bounding out of the room and gets a bit of space from you.
How far does he get from me?
He gets only about 25 feet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, actually, you know what we're going to do? No.
Huh.
TikTok is going to jump up and cling to the ceiling and make
the ceiling that we established that I can touch just by stretching?
That was the one in the tavern. This is a different ceiling. You're gonna have to jump to touch this one. It's within an athletics check, but
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
TikTok throws up the net, and as you kind of grab it and pull it down, right, in that same motion there is a blur, and you see a streak of green as TikTok leaps into the air and clings to the ceiling. The ends of the fingers and toes, now these kind of swollen balls, just kind of clinging, as you can just see. Okay. Finn, it is your turn. There is a sleeping Gripply clinging to the ceiling above you.
What's the best way to wake you up? He
Knock you out.
that. So what he's gonna do is cast gravitational pull.
Oh. Wait, what?
Yeah. So the runic tattoos on Finn's hands begin to ignite with this like whitish lavender light as he reaches upward. I need a fortitude save from this guy.
Old cock. TikTok. Fortitude save. That's a 13.
Yeah, that's a failure. I'm casting it with 2 actions.
Okay.
So it pulls him 20 feet down.
Yeah. TikTok is going to slam into the floor. I think we'll get the full 20 feet. So, because TikTok's jump is 20 feet. And that's how high we jumped to force you to try to jump. So that's going to be, I think Pathfinder does its 5, and then you take 1 damage for each foot after that. So 15 damage. If TikTok's, I think we got a reflex save. That is a 15 as well. It's a 15 on that. which I'm going to say is not good enough against your effect. So, yeah, TikTok slams to the ground and is properly unconscious.
Okay. Okay.
TikTok
Finn
jumps up into the air. Finn, yeah, kind of finish the picture.
I think it's almost like an invisible lasso. Like it wraps around the leg, and Finn just feels that kinetic energy connect with TikTok, and he just yoinks him down. Like there's no flare. There's no like. This happened apropos of nothing. Like it's very like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. So I think he's not. He's just like, get down. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I think while TikTok is passed out, Finn is going to take that net and tie TikTok up.
Okay, restrain TikTok. I will say, because we have a named character here, 15 damage is enough. Unfortunately, this part, you cannot necessarily declare non-lethal because the falling damage is the falling damage. You don't control that. But we do have a named character. So what I am going to allow is essentially death saves.
Could I cast heal on him to
You can certainly cast heal on him.
aid? Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to make sure he's tied up first.
Yeah, we'll say Ping gets to work on tying him up.
And then I will cast heal.
Okay. All right.
He will heal for... Oh my god, why are my spells doing this? Stop.
Spells
Stop.
why? No spells. Spells, no spelling.
Oh, spells, no spelling. All. Jesus.
What's wrong?
I think it was just being dumb. He heals for 5.
Okay. Yeah. You can see a couple of bruises and potentially broken bones re-knitting under your spell, Finn. As you hold your hand over TikTok, bright light flashes over, and TikTok.
Ow. 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 What's going on?
You killed someone. And you were trying to kill Pink Whiskey.
Finn? Pink? Tony? Looks at the corpse.
Not Tony! Yeah. What
happened?
It looked like you were sleeping. Are you prone to nightmares or sleepwalking?
No. As TikTok is kind of confused and trying to answer, no, as the answer is issued, you hear a voice that says, "By thunder, what be going on here?" As Magnus kind of plows into the room. You see weapons in hand, and he looks at the corpse and says, looks at you, Finn. "What devilry is this?"
Seemed to be some situation between TikTok, Pink Whiskey, and Tony.
I like the idea of Finn. Tony.
Tony, yeah. It looked like TikTok was sleepwalking. And he... Not Tony.
Not Tony.
This is not great. It looked like
He's a tiger
TikTok
fish.
was sleepwalking. He had a spear in hand and he was about to deliver the killing blow to Pink Whiskey. I stopped him.
Looks out and says, "Grim business. Let's get to the bottom of it. You two, bring the Gripply. And someone, get the king in the hand. Does anyone know where they are?" And
Lil Jon's like, he's at the quarters!
Yeah. They're both in the king's quarters.
Finn's like, what?
Oh no. Great.
Yep.
Awesome.
So Magnus and a couple of fish folk, part of Magnus's crew, as well as Pink and yourself, Finn, are being escorted to Daddy's Tavern, as That's where we do our meetings, I think.
Yeah.
And then Little John is flying away as fast as his little wings can take him up towards the Sky Citadel to go fetch the king and the hand. Finn, give me a perception check.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
Okay. No,
Press.
go ahead. No. I will be doing that.
You think I won't?
I'm going to use my second and final hero point.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. 30.
30. 30 is a great roll.
Yes.
Finn. 30, I'm going to say 30 is the high end of a regular success on this one. Because, Finn, there's a lot of commotion as everybody is clearing out. TikTok, healed but restrained, being carried by a few fish folk like a sack of potatoes. Right? Pink Whiskey, shaken up, being very dramatic about the whole thing. Pink Whiskey is the kind
reasonably
of...
so.
Yeah. But Pink is the kind of person who, if we got a scratch, if there was a scratch, Pink's like, I'm dying, somebody, please. As Pink is just professing the tale of your valiant rescue. The murder in the Gripply's eyes, I thought I was done for. I saw at least 7 of the 9 flash before me. As Pink is being led away, and I think that is just what just minorly distracts you, but you do see Magnus kind of digging around the room a little bit, doing a little bit of an investigation of the room, and then joining you guys as we depart the space. But Magnus kind of hanging back and just kind of looking around. Okay.
Yeah. He'll take note and ask questions when he can.
Okay. Then, Cress, you find yourself in the halls of Zeladiel once more. Or we'll say
highest point.
At the highest point, that's right. At the highest point, the night sky above you. And Anatole just kind of like hands down and says, as you enter, he says, well, allow me to welcome you for real this time.
You brought it to the surface.
I like to come up here to count the stars and just forget about being a prince or a king or whatever it was people expected of me at the time.
Have I made it harder to forget for you?
No. And besides, I don't think it's time for forgetting. It's time for doing. And that part you make significantly easier.
I'll do my best.
Let's head inside. I think there's somewhere we ought to take a brief moment. Stop and check in.
I'll follow you. And Cress will just clasp Anatole's hand.
Cress, the two of you wander through an abandoned and quiet Zeladiel. It is empty. You make your way across the jagged cliffs where there are some hidden stairs, the kind of stairs that only the locals knew where they were, into tight passages, and then you find yourselves walking through, for a moment, the bestiary, as it was, subterranean and alive, all manner of flora existing where it shouldn't, but quiet. Again, the animals that were here are not. But you can almost feel like, as you're walking through, though, you almost feel like you can hear them around you. You know, the sensory, the visual sensory input is enough to almost stimulate a memory of the auditory.
Tried not to think of this place. I can hear their ghosts. Maybe they survived somehow. I hope they did.
I hope so too. Stranger things have happened. And, well, let's just say I hope they did too.
I know how much you loved it here too.
It was a space unlike any other.
We'll rebuild it.
With that, Cress, the two of you walk over. Now, quick little meta discussion here.
Mhm.
As we shifted from D&D to Pathfinder, the type of elves that we were had to shift as well. So in order to kind of honor the idea of a subaquatic city, that is still the case. But now we have tunnels and hallways that kind of connect the outside of the city. So Cress, as you
And if
all
I-
go through... Please.
Oh, just if I may, I think there are spells that allow for underwater breathing in Pathfinder2e, and I like to imagine that those were utilized heavily as well.
Yes, absolutely. Because actually, that is one of the things that, as you guys approach the edge of the bestiary, what is before you is a waterfall that kind of borders the bestiary and then the actual cavern of Zeladiel, the trench in which the city lies, right? And as you step through, right, the water just leaves a faint shimmer along along your body. You are somehow able to breathe as you walk through that waterfall. It casts the water breathing spell on you.
Incredible.
So you find yourself now swimming underwater through the city. You see a few highways and passages where folks who, are not subject to the spell could still traverse. It kind of connects the valley, like bridges, like kind of these like long drawbridges that connect the two sides.
Like sky bridges in a
Yeah.
normal city. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you come here every night?
Most nights. Well, the nights that I choose. Viraxis sometimes will have us appear somewhere else if there's a particular bit of information he wishes to impress upon me. He does maintain some power. As much as this is me, he gestures to everything and says, I suspect it's also him.
Can't imagine what it must be like to be here night after night.
Well, if Viraxis is amenable to your presence, you're welcome to. You have an open invitation.
Thank you. I'd forgotten how much I missed it.
Crest, the two of you swim almost without thinking about it. And you find yourself making your way past another waterfall, into some subterranean halls that, again, very much keeping in the idea of architecture that flows. This is a hallway that is familiar to you, Cress, and you find yourself outside the chamber. This, as you find yourself entering the Orome estate.
Oh.
You find yourself outside the hallway down which the statue of Cassandra remains. Anatole pauses there and says, well, I know you said you wished you could see her.
Cress is moved. Throughout this adventure, the only piece of themselves, piece of their life that they have retained is their connection to Anatole, and then this attempt at connecting with Pascal. And there's so much bitterness around Zeladiel that they'd forgotten to miss it. Their animosity toward Titus, their hatred of Cleantha, and they'd forgotten that familial longing. You're a good friend, Anatole.
Reaches out and holds your hand, Chris. You see Anatole stands as he holds your hand, awaiting your decision, whether you walk down that hall or you choose to go elsewhere. He's led you here, but he leaves the choice to you.
Until meeting Lukavir, Anatole was the only person in Cress's life who bothered to let Cress make choices for themselves. And Cress is in that place, when you visit home and you revert to a more childlike state, you're all of a sudden that person you were growing up.
Yeah.
There's that wildness, that mischief and unfetteredness, and the bitterness at Titus. There's this eschewing of the rules that he had in place, the manner in which Cress had to approach, the manner in which Cress was expected to behave in this space. And Cress tugs Anatole and sprints in, and I think there's this defiant energy as Cress somersaults and caterwauls into the space and tumbles to land at the foot of their mother's statue in a way that they never got to while they were truly inhabiting Zeladiel.
Yeah. I think spurring you on, Cress, as you make your way down the hallway are portraits, busts, statues of Titus with that kind of grim, judging expression on his face, that serious one that you knew all so well, that always tried to keep you in line. As you just blur past it.
I think Cress more than blurs past it. I think there's a statue, a bust of Titus and a bust of Cleantha. Cress kicks out at the bust of Titus as they pass by, and they glance at Anatole to see if he does the same to Cleantha, giving tacit permission.
He, as he's passing by, I don't think he will, but he will kind of just give a look like, I wish I could forget you.
Cress lands at the feet of their mother's statue.
In that space, Cress, if you would like to take the liberty to describe it, feel free.
This statue garden is also a subaquatic garden with thick fronds of seaweed flowing like pillars up into the heights of this cavern. The statues herein are, for the most part, sculpted in classical formal styles. Cassandra, Cress's mother, stands in a more natural pose, her hand outstretched. You can see that Titus decided to render her without her wedding ring. She's the spitting image of Crest, just taller. And you can get a sense that the alabaster of the statue reflects that amelanastic quality of Anatole and Pascal, that almost bioluminescent glow, that paleness that Cress in their teal and aquamarine that they now know they've inherited from Karika has set them apart in this home. It was never really a home. I saw Father, Cress says to the statue. And I saw him see you in a dream. I saw him fall in love with you. And I don't know why you came back here. I wish you hadn't. I wish you were still alive. I wish you'd gotten to be with Karika until he passed. I wish I'd met you.
Toll gives a reassuring grip on your shoulder. Cress pulls you in for a hug.
I hug him tight, and in that strange manner of the people who live here, they cry and their tears suffuse with the rest of the seawater.
Yeah. The two of you float there, drifting in space before the statue of your mother, as emotion washes over you. And then a voice calls out, Cress. A voice that says, "Ah, alas, dreams are precious. Memories, are they not?" And you see that you are joined by a third individual. An old man dressed in red robes, heavy robes. His hair is completely shock white. One long braid down the back, and then two strands, or two, sections that just kind of drape the face that also have little tassels and beads at the end. Close knit, very kind of unkempt, almost like 5 o'clock shadow on the face, but there is still yet a rather regal bearing as he has a hand pressed to the chest and the head just tilted forward towards you. And Cress, you see, as you look towards him, glowing golden eyes, similar to those that you've seen in Anatole when he is, like fully dragoned out, or more dragoned out.
Mm-hmm. You must be Viraxes, and they'll return the bow.
And the bow, and Viraxes, kind of with a flourish of the hand, says, "And you must be Cressida Estuary. Of you I've heard a great deal. And I must extend to you a humble apology for the last time we'd interacted. I was a bit defensive."
I will never begrudge you for defending Anatole.
"You're a good friend to our young king." And Anatole goes, "Are you just going to make fun of me, old man? Or I imagine you have actual things you want to talk to us about." He says, "Youth, hasty as ever. I would not begrudge you the moment that you are having, though. I just wanted to merely make my presence known. When you are ready, there is, of course, much to discuss."
Cress is a dreamwalker. And in the manner of someone who does not have to traverse these spaces linearly, Cress leaves, they brush their hand over their horn and pluck a little pearl that they set upon their mother's wedding, or ring finger, where a wedding band should be. It sits there, and within that pearl, there is a scene of Cress sitting and talking with their mother. And you can see that it's almost like a montage. It seems to span hours. And Cress will give themselves the time to mourn her, to tell her everything. And they will also give themselves the moment to immediately dive into what Anatole clearly is itching to get to, as that dreamer splits in twain, much like the real-life unicorn of Cress and their humanoid form.
Yeah. And Anatole says, well, Viraxes, if you care to enlighten us, we are all ears. And Viraxes says, certainly. If you just follow me this way, I fully intend to regale you with a tale of love, betrayal, complicated motives of gods and giants. And as the three of you begin to drift out towards the hall, Cress, all of a sudden, the water around you begins. So Viraxes drifts through one of those waterfalls. Anatole drifts through, and just as you are about to, all of a sudden it just freezes, and it becomes a wall of ice. And Cress, you find yourself pressed against it, and the water around you begins to bubble, and it feels like it's boiling. It feels like it's getting hotter and hotter. Anatole turns back and begins pressing against the surface. What's going on? Viraxes, what is this? And Viraxes, you can see through the glass, the image somewhat distorted, Viraxes leaning back and goes, well, that's just curious. This isn't me, Anatole. And Anatole starts yelling your name. Cress! Cress! And he starts banging against the glass.
Anatole! Cress will do the same. This is a lucid dream. Can Cress attempt to impose their will on the space?
You can certainly go ahead, give me the idea, and I'll try to, and I'm going to roll with it a little bit.
The space is boiling. Cress refuses to die in the dream. They want to know what's doing this. So can Cress... Dreams are the boundary, about a borderline between consciousness and unconsciousness. The subconscious thread. And Cress will attempt to touch that subconscious thread by placing their back against the ice, and between that extreme cold and the heat, ride that line of a livable temperature while they try to see what the fuck is doing this to them.
Okay. Give me because I think you're kind of invoking your powers as a dreamer here. I would say I could see occultism being good.
I have dream lore.
You have dream lore? I'll take dream lore.
I'll do dream lore.
Let's do dream lore. That's perfect.
19 on the die, plus...
That's excellent.
13.
Excellent. 32.
20, no, 34. No, 32 is correct.
32.
I can't do math.
Cress. That is an excellent roll. You lean back, Cress, and you know, like you said, you will not die in the dream. And as you take the power and you begin to lucid dream and you begin to find that border, you realize that, yes, this effect is something that is being imposed upon you. What is happening is targeting you. It is actually a spell. And with a critical success, you see the caster of the spell. As you look out and the statue of your mother, the hand begins to twist and it comes alive, and the hair that is so much like yours begins to clump and drift and extend outwards into the water, and you see the face begin to twist and contort into that of the nightmare that you all had fought in the ruins. As it begins to loom and it goes,
Found you, dreamer.
And I found you.
nice. Okay. Cress, it begins to kind of twist and like stretch out, and it's I think it can tell with your critical success and how you kind of spotted it fucking around with the dream. You know this thing to be cowardly and to be manipulative, as it looms back and it says,
I will take everything from you before this is over.
You're gonna have to do better than that. And Cress is going to cast life-draining roots on it.
give us
I
the
need
flavor of the
a
life
reflex save.
Oh shit, hang on, reroll. Okay. And it's 1 sec here. What is this thing called?
God, that's so many.
Okay.
Hold on.
You said reflex?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 19.
That fails.
Oh, shit.
1 moment. Nope. Okay. Okay. The seaweed. Okay. The seaweed in this space coalesces around that statue form of the nightmare. And it was so soft a second ago. Spikes grow out of it and clamp into the nightmare, puncturing into it, and those puncture marks allow this light, this quality of life siphons from the nightmare and pours into Cress. Oh my god, I have to roll that. Whoa, 1 second. This is complicated.
No, you good, you good.
Okay. The seaweed siphons light from the nightmare as the nightmare takes 6, 11, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 29,
29.
33. What kind of damage are
33?
you? 33 points of...
That's a real good hit.
What are you? Piercing damage.
Piercing
And then
damage.
Cress will gain 19 temporary HP.
Okay. Press. Your seaweed vines grip the statue, and as it does so, you can see the thorns that begin to appear, jutting in through the flesh of the creature. It screams out in pain, and it flips this Cheshire it like flips its hair around, and you can see the hair like drifting in the water. The bubbles just all around you. You can hear Anatole banging on the glass behind you. And as it goes from kind of crying out in pain, it flicks its face towards you, smiles, and begins laughing maniacally. And Cress, with a great bang against the glass behind you, the dream shatters. Yourself and Anatole are rushed to wakefulness. Back in the king's chamber. And the first thing you become aware of as you wake up is that the two of you are no longer alone. Pascal is there. And he
Nightmare.
is exasperated. And Pascal goes, as you come out and say the nightmare, Pascal goes, there's been a what's his voice? There's been a murder in town.
Let's go. We'll deal with Anatole. Are you all right?
Anatole clears the sleep from his eyes and goes, I'm fine. Whatever you did, it stopped its magic from taking hold of me. And I will say, Cress, you did actually stop it from inducing a nightmare spell on Anatole. It was targeting you, but because you're in Anatole's dream, I was going to have him suffer the effects.
That would have sucked.
But you effectively fought it off. So, yourself, Anatole, and Pascal will say then immediately rush from the Sky Citadel down towards town. Cress, Finn, the two of you are reunited at Bistro Daddy's Tavern as Cress, yourself, and Anatole, and Pascal. Pascal walking in, Cress and Anatole closely following. Finn, you see the trio of elves march into the room. TikTok is kind of tied to a chair. Magnus has TikTok tied to a chair. And Pink is has wounds being tended to in every dramatic fashion. And I think, party, as you reunite, that is where we are going to call our session today.
We should go handle that. We should handle that thing.
It's doing things. It's back, baby.
Yeah. All right.
We had to deal with it at some point. This seemed like a good point.
Kill a fucking
That was the time.
nightmare.
Yeah. Ah,
So-
excellent. Juicy.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for playing. I really appreciate the two of you staying so locked in even during each other's storylines. So much love to you both. Before we head out, any announcements that you would like to say or offer to the folks?
Guys, go ahead and check out Soundtale's archive. Pirates of the Dual Seas every Thursday, and Known Realms to Lesh every Sunday.
Except tomorrow, because I decided to
Except
mañana.
They got it.
Yeah. All right. Yes, definitely go check that out. And guys, we will be, I don't know the schedule. But I also just want to say thanks to Hannah for running tech. If you watched the last session, you know that was a mess. So Hannah, always glad to have you back. Even though you're not at the table at the moment, you are here in a little bit more than spirit. All right, guys. Well, we will see you with Unearthed Inheritance again in a couple of weeks, I believe. And until then, I wish you good dreams. Better than Cress's.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Shh.